Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for yet another video on the Nordschleife challenge. And it has been over 2.5 years since I have last said that particular statement. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and you might notice that this is marked as an extra video. I'm going to get started very shortly, and then I'll explain why it is an extra video, but just briefly for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Nordschleife challenge, especially as it was a series that was run between late 2020 and late 2022 and then just sort of disappeared. The point of this is to take out any car that can be driven on the road, throw it around the Nordschleife for a few laps, see what sort of lap time I can get, see how the feel is for the car, and then put it on a leaderboard. So 2 leaderboards, one for lap time and one for how the car feels and drives. This car has already been out twice, and this is part of the reason why it's an extra video. But after the intro, I'll be going through the rules of the Nordschleife challenge and exactly why I am doing this. Well, I suppose I can go through why I'm doing it as an extra video right now. Things have changed in the last 2.5 to 3 years. I have a new rig. I have better audio equipment. Assetto Corsa has changed massively. The physics have changed. With the extended physics, there's more in terms of force feedback. Things look different, things feel different, and I believe things drive quite differently too. So I want to see if I can match or get very close to the lap time that I did 2.5 years ago with this very car in episode 40 and see how close I can get to that. So can I match it or can I beat it? And if I can, I might need to go around doing all of the cars again. And if I cannot get anywhere near it, then I might have a problem, because then this series cannot return. And that is the point of this video. I want to see whether or not this series can make a short, just a brief return until the Nordschleife is available in Assetto Corsa Evo. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. I'll start driving, and after the intro, I'll explain what the rules were and how this actually worked outside of one of these extra videos. Okay, so my target lap time is an 8 minutes 37.191. That is what I did with this car. So first lap, I'm probably going to take it a little bit easier than I maybe would. And then the second and third lap that I do today, I'll probably only do 3 or 4 laps, will be where I actually put some effort in. Probably do not need the headlamps at all, and you'll be able to see, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, there is a delta to my fastest lap time, so you will be able to see how much time I'm losing per lap compared to what I did all that time ago. Ooh, slight flash of ABS kicking in, which was quite nice to see. So yes, rules for this challenge, because I didn't just throw cars around just like that. And if you do want to watch this, the series is still available. All the videos in the playlist are still up, all 40 of them. And the idea is that I can take a car around the track twice on 2 separate occasions. Might be able to do 3, but in general it was supposed to be 2 separate occasions, which is why this is an extra video, because this is the 3rd occasion on taking this car out. The first time I take the car out is the standard Nordschleife challenge video. So I had 2 versions, this and a version called Redux. The first time I take the car out, I talk a little bit about the car specs and what I'm expecting to get from the car. And then what I do is I take it out for 2 laps of practice, and those laps are not on camera. I do record them, and they're available for Patreon supporters. And then what you see on camera are 3 further laps, or up to 3 further laps, in which I throw this car around trying to get the fastest lap time. And that is about it. Now, there have been exceptions to this. The McLaren 570S was an exception, because I could not get a good lap out of that car, no matter what I tried. I do remember that car was really, really difficult to drive for some reason at the time. But yes, so that is all you get. 5 laps in total, of which you see 3, or a maximum of 3, and that goes up on the board. The fastest lap time of the 3 shown laps goes up on the board against whatever other cars there are. So for example, looking at this car, what's the original lap time, which was a 7 minutes 44 point something, I believe. I'm not entirely certain what it was. This is obviously going back quite some time, because this was the third car I had ever taken out, and also the 40th car I had ever taken out. So I do know the 40th lap time, because that is the fastest lap I've done. But the third, when I took it out as the third car, I believe it was a 8 minutes 44 point something or other. And that put it around, after a few other cars had gone out, it put it just behind the S1 Quattro, and it put it just ahead of the Sierra Cosworth by less than a second, and it was a further second or second and a half ahead of the Toyota GT86. So that was where this car ranked in terms of speed. Where did it rank in terms of drivability? Currently, after 40 videos, it is sitting in 4th place, just ahead of the Ferrari F40 and just behind the Skyline R34. That is where I've placed this car. Now, when it comes to the Redux video, of which 3 cars have been out for a Redux video, I get to drive around for as long as I feel I need to be comfortable with the car, and then you see one lap only on the video. That is it, and that will be a replacement for whatever lap time was previously there, and I can also then move if I want to, I can move the driver rating of this particular car around as well. So that is how the Nordschleife challenge works. I say works, but it works because I've not been doing it for quite some time. Now, in this extra video, as I said, the reason I'm taking this car out is because it was the last car that I took out the last time I did a proper video, and therefore it's probably the best one for me to do a comparison to. It's also a good car to throw around, I'll be honest. Very, very good car to throw around. My target is to be able to get to, if possible, this is my aim, is to be able to get faster than what I did the first time around, so faster than a 7 minutes 44, and if I can get it as close to the, that should have been third, get it as close as possible to the 8 minutes. 7 minutes would be a fantastic time for this. Unbelievable, actually. At 8 minutes 44, I need to be faster than the 8 minutes 44, and I want to be as close to the 8 minutes 37 as possible. Currently, I'm 7 seconds off that 8 minutes 37, which means that I am around the 8 minutes 44 mark. I keep saying 7, and I have no idea why. That was a really bad corner. Now, in terms of feel, this car does feel very, very different. In fact, one of the things I will say about this is the car feels slower. Under acceleration, it does feel a little bit slower. And I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that or not, but it definitely feels like a slower vehicle. And that's quite interesting. Second through here would have probably been better. Another rule that I had, that I did end up breaking at one point because I thought perhaps it might be a little bit unfair if I kept that rule. And that rule was that I was not allowed to change any part of the car's geometry or any part of the car's setup apart from the tyres. I changed that to allow me to reduce brake pressure if I needed to, because I used to run these cars without ABS, and some of the cars with ABS really did not like it, so I added that. And also I did decide that I could potentially within a couple of PSI adjust tyre pressures, but only within a couple of PSI, so I couldn't run them really, really low or really, really high. That was not allowed. So if this car started with, let's say, tyre pressures of, I think this car starts with 25 PSI. If it started with 25 PSI, then I was allowed to bring it down to about 23 or up to 27, something along that line, something along those lines. 8:46.01 for my first lap, and you know what? That is not that bad. That is actually not that bad for my first lap back in this car. Already half a second down though, so that's not ideal. Although I am clawing some of that back, so maybe, right, this might just show that the new force feedback allows me to really throw this car in certain places. And one of them was actually that section. In all honesty, that felt better than it ever has before. But I do think, and this is the really interesting part, I do think this car does not have as much power as it did before. It doesn't feel the same. It does not feel like it has the same amount of power. Because I'm not able to get to the top speed as quickly as I used to be able to. I think the fastest I've taken this car is 144 miles per hour on this track during that lap. And this is, I was fairly sure I was unable to get to that speed. Although so far, I am pretty much bang on with that lap that I did 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Not saying it's going to stay that way, but it's definitely a sign that I can still drive at speed for a little period of time. Now I do know that I have to always avoid that curb on the right hand side, because that curb really throws you out. I may only end up doing 2 laps here if this second lap ends up being quite a good one. Oops, that's a wrong gear. That was also a wrong gear. At the moment, I think I'm shifting down 1 gear too many, which is not good. Now, ABS is potentially slowing me down a little as well, so I do have to take that into consideration. Come on, round this corner, there we go. Okay, somehow I'm up on my best time. I doubt that is going to stay. I really doubt that's going to stay, but I am up on my best time. And that's saying something. That's definitely saying something. It just shows that the better force feedback, I can actually feel what I'm doing. And I did mention this in the last standard Assetto Corsa video that I did, that I felt that I had a bit more feeling in the force feedback itself. This is where I'm going to lose a lot of time, I think. Still gaining. There it goes, now I'm losing. Okay, I do think this car is down on power compared to what it used to be. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure how, but it just does not have that same level of acceleration. I'm going to be losing time all the way up this hill. And I was gaining. Very, very interesting. That was a good corner though. Feeling very, very comfortable with this car as the car just decides it wants to snap on me. Definitely feeling very, very comfortable with this car. A lot more comfortable. It's as though I've got to speed with this car a lot faster than I did in the past. Okay, I did lose 0.3 of a second in the carousel, and I'm losing a whole heap of time going up this hill, but that's, again, my target was not to beat what I was doing. My target was to be close to what I was doing. And that is what I have done here. Slightly wide moment there. But in all honesty, this is going remarkably well. Now this is surprisingly good what I'm doing here. Leave it in third, leave it in third. Right, lost a whole heap of time there. That's okay. This section, this complex is very, very, well, complex. I think it's the undulation. It's not really the turns themselves, but it's the undulation through these that really catches you out. Now the other thing you may notice is that if you'd watched my last video, I was using head tracking in the last video, and I'm not using any head tracking here. And the reason for that is because when I first started making the videos on the Nordschleife challenge, I did not have a good head tracking setup at all. And so in order to make a fair comparison, I've decided not to use head tracking in this video so that I can just see the best, it should give me the best comparison that I should be able to get between this and my video of 2 years ago. Right, let's see if I can get this turned in properly. Not really, that's the problem, but it's okay. If now I know where I've lost a whole bunch of time there, I'm going to say all the way up till that point I was only 0.5 of a second down. I could try a third lap. That felt pretty good. Overall, that felt pretty good. Very smooth. I was able to I was able to feel a lot more of the road than I ever have. In all honesty, I would not have expected me to be able to get to that speed that quickly within what this is. They say this is lap 2. .69. That's actually less than just a second and a half off what I did 2.5 years ago. I think I've answered my question. Can I still run at this sort of speed? I think the answer to that is very much yes. I still can. And now it's just a matter of me throwing the car around because I'm just getting a really good feeling for this. In fact, I think I've just gained nearly a second there. 3/4 of a second, or 0.7 of a second. Just going through that section. This is a Nordschleife challenge Redux. And the feeling of understeer and oversteer now through these corners is better than I have ever felt before. So yes, I think I've proved to myself what I wanted to prove, but for you watching, if you want to see more videos of the Nordschleife challenge and actually see it properly done, then let me know in the comments box below. Let me know what you want to see. Watch the videos, go watch the series, see what cars there are on the series, and let me know which cars you would like to see. And if there are any specific cars that are perhaps modded, then let me know where to download the mods from, and also please make sure that they are proper cars. They aren't really cheap or badly made ports or anything like that. As I mentioned, I should not be hitting the curb on the right hand side there. Hit the curb on the right hand side, you bounce and you lose a lot of time. Now I'm starting to focus just a little bit more. Now it's really where I'm starting to push the car. Not sure why. This lap probably will not even count, but I'm going for it anyway. This is not a lap that's going to count. Or should I have it count? I'll leave that to those people watching this as well. Leave a comment if this lap beats the 837.191. If this lap beats it, should it count? It isn't going to impact anything at present because there's no car that it can overtake. So the Porsche Macan is the next car ahead of it, and that has a 8 minutes 30 point something. So it's not going to help with that. This is the fastest this is going to get is going to be in the 35s potentially. If I can get the rest of this track, rest of this lap correct, which there is of course absolutely zero chance, or there's actually absolutely zero guarantee of me actually getting any of it right. So for example, I'm going to lose half a second here because of what I do very much believe is a slight change in power or power delivery. I'm not sure if that's extended physics or something, but something does not feel quite as right here. I cannot get up to the speed that I used to be able to get up to in this car. So there is that. Taking that at 103 miles per hour is surprisingly easy. I was not expecting it to be that easy to do that. Sure, we'll take the grass there, why not? Because that's what I clearly was aiming to do with the understeer. Even this, going through the carousel here just feels so much better. Just the bumps that I can feel. And it might be a combination of both the new force feedback or the post-processing force feedback filter, whatever it is that I'm using, and the fact that I've got a better wheel that is giving me the opportunity or the ability to feel such things. There goes a whole heap of time. Really focus through this section. This is a section that can very easily cause all sorts of grief. Very, very easily cause all sorts of grief. This is why people watch from here, because it's a good spot to see cars crashing. That much is for certain. And as I mentioned the first time I did this, and I believe the second time I did this, third gear is your friend. Third gear really is your friend in this car for this section. Not for all of it, I will say that, and not all cars. There are some cars that I remember driving where third gear was too short, and fourth gear was just too tall. And that was a problem. Right. So I've got to try and get this bit right. A mini carousel where it's so easy to mess up. It really is so easy. Now, as long as I get this final bit correct, which I should be able to do, shouldn't lose quite as much time now all the way down the straight. Okay, we are looking at what is going to be a new personal best for me. And that is where I'm going to end this video once I've completed this lap. But as I said, I managed to reach 144 miles per hour last time. I want to see if I can get to that speed now, because I'm losing a lot of time up this hill, as you can see. It's just ebbing away. $137, 39, 40, 41. No, I genuinely cannot reach that speed. That is interesting that I cannot reach that speed. 836.71. It's 0.3 of a second better, which isn't great, but it's better than, I suppose, what it was before. So, if you want that particular lap to count in the Nordschleife challenge, I think it doesn't really make much of a difference, so I might just count it anyway. But if you want that to count, please leave it in the comments box below. If you want this series to return for, as I said, a brief, it will be for a brief time, because I'm not sure what Assetto Corsa Evo's Nordschleife plans are, but I will be taking this series into Assetto Corsa Evo once I've done that. So once that is up and running and I've got the cars in there, I will be doing this in Assetto Corsa Evo and maybe do some comparisons. That would be quite interesting. Make sure you leave that in the comments box below as well. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa Evo, or this Nordschleife challenge. All of that will be on this channel at some point. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me as I try and get around this corner and hit the brakes. And I'm still somehow gaining time. Well, anyway, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Assetto Corsa, just as a normal video, Assetto Corsa the Nordschleife challenge, if it returns, or Assetto Corsa Evo. Also, I think I might be able to get another 3 seconds out of this car. So we're looking at, what's an 8 minutes 33? Still not enough to displace the Porsche Macan. But still, an 8 minutes 33 is nothing to sniff at. I might have to come back as a redux of this car. Anyway, I'll see you next time.